Hey everyone, welcome to this very special episode where I am going to focus on the road and tell you about all the awesome things that are going on this weekend. If you guys look over to my right, I'm passing over Hillsborough River. I'm on Kennedy because this weekend is Riverfest and I'm coming up to a red light, so it'll be easy for me to talk to you guys. Okay, and the light just turned green, which is awesome. So I'll make this real quick. Riverfest is like the biggest, baddest party that the city hosts every year, right off the Riverwalk, Curtis Hickson Park. You guys hear me talk. I'm always bringing up events that are going on at Curtis Hickson Park because they're awesome and it's outside and we're in the middle of this downtown beautiful area. But I'm going to give you some tips. Okay, so this weekend is Riverfest. It's Friday and Saturday. Friday there's going to be free music in the park. I think there's going to be food vendors, all sorts of stuff. Like, it's all right here. Over to my left is where it's going to be, Curtis Hickson Park. Friday is going to be like the kickoff, and Saturday they're actually doing a spot called Taco Fest. So that's like taco version of Riverfest, if that's what you want to call it. So instead of doing a whole list of events this weekend, I wanted to bring you guys the very best. I'm telling you, if you love your city, if you're proud of your city, or if you're not and you want to give your city a chance, come out to Riverfest this weekend. All the details and the schedule of events I'm going to post above. And if you see something at a good time, I highly encourage you. My recommendation, if I'm going to go for one thing, let's say I'm broke and I still want to go and see one cool thing, they're going to be doing a balloon glow on the river, which means that they're going to be bringing out these people that own hot air balloons, and they're going to be like later, just at sunset time, they're going to start setting them up, and it just looks super cool. I'll post a picture or something so you can see what it looks like. But that's going to be it. So come out to Riverfest and maybe I'll see you. All right. Check out this interview I did with Bryan Chavis. Really, really cool guy. Absolute wizard in terms of real estate investing. I had to introduce him to you guys because he cares about his community as well. Take it easy.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
All right, ready?
Yes, sir. I like this backdrop, man. Here, this is.
I appreciate it. I try
to look good, right?
I try to do a
little
bit of skill here and there.
It's nice.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 28 of Tampa Tuesday. I'm here with a best-selling author, and I'm super excited because that makes me feel important. All right,
important,
awesome. So let me introduce you guys to Bryan Chavis. Chavis, right? I said that right?
You said it right.
All right, I'm getting my pronunciation on too. I love it. Bryan is, I'm obviously gonna let him introduce himself a little more, but I met him through a mutual friend of ours, Joe Ebanks. Joe's been very good at being a mentor to me, just helping me develop and giving me a higher standard in real estate to achieve. And I can't say enough positive things about Joe. One thing I really like is he really puts his money where his mouth is, and that makes my heart feel good to have people in your circle like that.
Absolutely.
So Joe,
big shout out to Joe.
Yeah,
Ebanks.
Huge shout out to Joe
Cash
Ebanks.
man.
Cash man pays cash.
That's right.
All right, so Joe actually maybe 3-4 weeks ago, he told me about you. He told me that you and him were going to be doing business together and things like that. And you did something very unselfish. Instead of saying, I want to be on your show, he said, let's get Bryan on your show. So that was, I say that, all that backstory to let everybody know, this is the kind of people that I have in my circle, and I love that we have a community that genuinely cares about each other and wants to see each other succeed.
Absolutely.
So yeah, again, thanks so much, Joe, for making this happen. Big shout out. We'll have you on the show at some point in the future as well.
Absolutely.
But because I did tease, I'm not kidding. We're actually talking about 2 best-selling books I'm holding in my hand. We got we're in Ybor City, so you're gonna have to deal with the
audience.
Yeah, we got a crazy audience out here.
Great audience.
So I'm holding 2 best-selling books here by Mr. Chavis. So one is The Landlord Entrepreneur. I'll give you guys a quick glance on that, and the newer one.
This is the new one.
Yeah,
this would be the newer one. This is the.
Oh, okay.
That's the one in the Library of Congress. Right?
So this
that's
one,
the original.
Okay, so this is the OG version.
Yeah.
And it's called Buy It, Rent It, Profit. Like he's just mentioned, it's in the Library of Congress. Really cool. You are probably the coolest guest I've ever had on this show, so thank you.
Man, that's a huge honor. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. But I know you got the goods, so we're good. So we got this. I don't want to misread your story. So I'd love for you to just kind of speak to the camera, update the audience on where these came from.
Well, where they came from, they came from legal pads that I wrote on in Starbucks when I wrote the books. But ideally, the books and the content came from me, what I was doing day to day in a full-time job. So working as a property manager in the multifamily industry, I was fortunate enough really to go to school without going to school and get paid to go to school. So that's where the content and my knowledge really derived from originally, was working in the multifamily industry.
Right. Awesome. So when you say multifamily, is that like when we're driving down the highway and we see these like 200 unit apartment complexes going up? That's what you're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
Man, that's crazy.
Multifamily industry, yeah. When you see these large apartment buildings, some of your viewers may be living in one of them right now.
Right.
Where you have the leasing agent, the maintenance rides around on the golf cart, things like that's
awesome. So that is. We got a buddy, literally like right there.
He wants to be on the show.
Yeah, he does. He's our biggest Tampa Tuesday fan right now. I'm in real estate, and I drive by those buildings, and I have no idea how the entire deal is orchestrated, really how they come about. Because one day I'm driving, and I know that's Jurassic family property, or that was an old farm pasture, and then all of a sudden I see a sold sign, and then 6 months later I see the buildings going up. How does that happen?
Well, development.
Okay.
I mean, typically you'll have a developer.
Right.
That developer, you have many types of developers. There's developers who have in-house management. There's developers who develop from out of the ground, go vertical. They manage it. The construction of the project. Okay. Once the project's completed, they manage the day-to-day operational of the property, the actual property management. So they do it all. Then you have some developers who develop it and sell it. Right. But for the most part, when you see these multifamily projects come out of the ground, Post Properties, Camden, these guys are developing out of the ground, and then they're managing the asset as well. So they're there from start to finish. Right on.
So, and I would assume that most of these companies are like $100 million, $1 billion net worth sort of things. So
some, yeah, right, but most at that level, what they call the institutional grade, assets are,
So,
heavily capitalized.
And what really interested me, especially in having you as a guest, is you kind of bring this down to reality. So if you're not in that 1%, there's still opportunity for you in that.
Absolutely.
So, and obviously I know a little bit more. Bryan and I talked for like half an hour before we started record. And so I want you to kind of explain to the audience, how did you get your start in there? Because I assume you didn't come from all these assets to start with.
Correct. Property management. I was listening to you. I was actually interviewing you, I guess, this morning, asking a little bit more about you. But a lot of the things you were talking about was the work. Right. And I think that's what gets lost 100%. With the social media gurus these days. Everyone's a guru. Everyone is an expert. Everyone has written a book now.
Everyone's got a video podcast.
Everyone's got a video podcast. But what's getting lost is the work.
Agreed.
And at the end of the day, for me, owning and operating a property management company was how I got started. Right. And becoming skilled at property management and doing and running the property day to day I was able to then create my own syndications and attract investors. Okay. Because now the term is syndication. Right. Where you have one sponsor, the guy that's supposed to know what he does day to day. Right. He's going to say, hey, look, I know how to run this show. I know how to buy this small apartment building. Right. I know how to run it. I just don't have the capital. So what they do is they go find someone who has a capital, that's a passive investor, that's not interested in the day-to-day operations, and those two team up.
Okay.
But the passive guy, the guy who has the money, he's not just going to hand his money to anyone. He wants to know that that sponsor knows what they're doing. Right. Because I had the background in the multifamily industry and running these apartment buildings, I can do it in my sleep. You know, I made a great sponsor. Man. So I take a percentage of the deal. Without putting my money in, I'm bringing my knowledge. I take buy an apartment complex, take a percentage of the deal, operate it, run it, and actively attract those sponsors.
That's crazy. That's almost very similar to what Joe and I are doing. So Joe's helping me so much in the real estate side, but Joe does more investment real estate. I do more residential. So like the typical someone wants to buy or sell a home, I try to get in front of them. They call me, and I've not systemized that, but I just know it. It's I don't believe in systems or direct scaling like money equals business necessarily, because there's always work like you just talked about. I actually tried not to develop. I try to develop outlines more than processes, because when you say the word process, it almost seems like you're taking the work out, and that never works out. I think the idea of completely stepping away from something is it's just not something that's attractive to me, honestly, because I almost like the work. But I would say that principle of you becoming skilled and knowledge at something, and then leveraging someone else's financial resources is it's ridiculous and tangible for most people. And from what I assume, that's kind of what you're teaching in the books.
Right.
Like, so how do we connect that bridge?
We connected. Let's just go back to this definition of work and drill down to that a tad bit more. Right. For me, I am a process and systems guy. So, but then again, we may have a different idea or version or definition.
And I'm cool if even if we don't like that.
Right. That's what the shows are about. It's organic. It's real. Right. But for me, when you step into a McDonald's, and I'm just using McDonald's because it's a friend.
I worked at McDonald's. I guess.
We all have. We all have. You still worked. Right. However, it were the systems. Right. Work and procedures manuals and procedures. They identify the work that needs to be done, and then they tell the user how to go about performing that work. So there's still work, but there's consistency in that. Right. You can't have profitability until you have consistency. Agreed. And the systems and the procedures allow for the consistency. Fair. Because no profitability without consistency, and that is the idea behind the franchise business model. Awesome. That's why more franchises are successful than small business operators who go in and out of business every day. Agreed. So it's the franchise model with the systems paired with the work. Right. I kind of hung my hat on. Awesome. What I do is just basically offer the guy who's buying a duplex, a small apartment building, or maybe doing what I'm doing, learning the industry, and then becoming a sponsor and going out and attracting investors, passive guys, want to create a syndication, and put a deal together. What I'm doing for these individuals is showing them how to go about doing the work and the systems that are required to do the work consistently, so they can find that profitability. Because when it comes to creating a syndication, man, you have to have not only have to have a track record, but it has to work. Your work, these guys they love work. Work is great, but you can also work the wrong way. Yeah, you see that at the gym every day. Oh yeah, you see guys lifting weights and doing things in the gym, and they're doing it incorrectly. I'm a golfer. I'm an avid golfer. Awesome. I'm out of the range and I practice. You see people swing and they have piles of golf balls or buckets, and they're out there for 4 or 5 hours and they go through all these golf balls. And you just watch them, and everything they're doing, from their setup to the way they're swinging, is totally wrong. But they worked just as hard as I did. Matter of fact, they probably outworked me because their buckets they had like 200-300 balls. So you can work, but you can still work wrong. And the idea is that in this business, in real estate, you can't work wrong because now you're raising money and you're responsible for other people's money. And they don't want to know that you got up 7 days a week and worked from sun up to sundown and lost money. They don't care that you work that hard. I agree. They want you to work smart. So the idea is, because of the responsibility of the asset, because you're getting into commercial, you're getting into income. From residential, you're moving into income producing properties, investment property. there's a lot of responsibility with that. So you have to make sure your model works.
Yeah, and I love I think kind of where we definitely overlap is the word responsibility that we use. So I think you're not just responsible for the work, you're responsible for the result.
Absolutely.
Especially,
you gotta own it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're working with other people's money. Like,
Amen.
It is not. I mean, if I give somebody $10, they better do what they said they were going to do
Absolutely.
with it. You know.
Absolutely.
So cool, awesome. Okay, so where we're at the 10-minute mark, just about. So we're gonna wrap this up. I wanna ask you if somebody that's listening to this that's like, okay, I know I can work hard and smart, and this seems like something I want to get into. How do I start?
They can come out. We have a couple of events that we do, training.
Right on.
One May 8th. We have another May 12th.
Okay.
You can always visit the landlordacademy.com.
All right. We're gonna link up all that.
And we'll link.
Video.
Yeah, you'll have the links there. Our Facebook.
Right on.
Our YouTube channel.
Cool.
Buy, Rent, Profit.
Excellent.
Come on out and grab that free training. I'm shooting training videos every day from the property.
Right on.
To kind of,
Excellent.
open the.
That's simple. Like it's
Yeah.
literally like, you want to get started, get in touch with me. I will help you. That's easy.
Or watch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just watch. Yeah.
Exactly. Just watch.
Just watch. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Bryan. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. And guys, as a favor to me, if I've ever given you any value whatsoever, go on. It's on Amazon, of course, right? Go on Amazon. Buy both of these. I'm not telling you to buy one. I'm telling you to buy both. Buy both of these books. I will do it, and I will post my receipt below, so that you know that I'm not messing with you guys. Like, I'm for real. I care about Bryan's success, and if you care about where you live, and if you're in a position that you're like, you know what, I'm done with. Say what?
So I'm gonna come out to the property and go sign it.
Oh yeah. There we go. And then if you come out to the property, and like I said, it's gonna be linked up. Bryan will come out and sign it. He signed these, but I'm gonna buy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna buy 2 of these on Amazon, and whoever writes the best comment on this video, I will personally give it to you.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, but put your money where your mouth is, guys. If I've ever given you any value ever, please go on Amazon, buy these 2 books, learn this.
That's all right to come back.
All right, guys. So I literally just turned the camera back on to say goodbye, because literally like the last 20 seconds got cut out. But again, you buy the books on Amazon. You can get them signed by Bryan yourself. You just stop by your apartment complex, and you will be there because he works. And as my good friend Willie Lawson says, get out there, learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye now.